George Russell is flying high after his victory at home at the British Grand Prix in the previous episode, but he's going to have his work cut out to beat Lewis Hamilton this time around, because we're going to Budapest, track where Lewis Hamilton is rather good. Hello folks, welcome back to F1 Manager here with Mercedes, episode 57 I think this is, and well, we are still recovering from the celebrations at Silverstone where George Russell was victorious at the British Grand Prix, which might also have been Lewis Hamilton's final British Grand Prix. If you missed it in the last episode, apparently he's retiring at the end of the season. So, yeah. I mean, well, it could be actually, now I think about it, that it's retiring at the end of the contract. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. So we could end up starting next season with no driver in the second car. But we've got two drivers at the moment, and those two drivers are top of the table. Lewis Hamilton leading the way by 13 points over George Russell. We've put a bit of a gap on Verstappen and Leclerc in the Red Bull cars. We've opened up a, what was that, 80 point gap in the Constructors' Championship. So Mercedes well and truly the dominant force once again, and we're looking to ram that home this weekend in Hungary. We are now halfway through the season. I am also just researching for 2026, designing a new front wing because we needed a bit of a boost. I think it was at medium speed we went for that sort of specialising in. Halfway through the season, we're also going to Zandvoort and then the two Italian races to close out this mini European season. Then it's off to the Americas to close out the championship. Right, that's enough waffle. I'm going to go to practice. I'll see you in Q3. And we're going to aim for a front row lockout. Q3 then, easy peasy to get here. And I've decided we're going to try something. There was something I found on YouTube earlier today about the driver confidence, and call me out if you think this is cheating, but there is a way to exploit this and get this to peak confidence, and hopefully that will give us the pace we need to go for pole position. We've got 3 sets of soft tyres to use, so I will explain what I'm doing when I send the cars out. But first of all, I'm going to put 2 flying laps of fuel in. But in short, we're not actually going to do any flying laps really. So if I send out George Russell here and then Lewis Hamilton, so I'm going to take manual control. And basically, we're going to do a lap in the lowest possible mode, harvesting the battery. And essentially what's going to happen is, as we set personal best, confidence will go up, obviously purple sectors as well. And then as Russell comes around for his next lap, I'm going to ask him to go light on the tyres for the second lap. And in theory, he'll get more boosts because he starts setting more personal bests. Here we go. Another green sector because he's attacking more on the tyres. So this is a little bit of a cheesy way to gain some confidence with the drivers, and then as they're coming through on their in lap, we can just go to standard. And now when we go to it, George Russell's at peak confidence, ready for his final flying lap. So we'll chuck on another set of soft tyres, and essentially we're going to have one run at this. Lewis Hamilton also at peak confidence just about. So let's see what these final runs can bring us. Alright, George Russell is starting his final flying lap then. Max Verstappen has already gone through the first sector fastest of anybody, but hopefully our confidence boost will give us the boost that we need to usurp him at the top of the times. It's a personal best for George Russell, also a personal best for Lewis Hamilton, 26.8. Hamilton's slightly quicker. Verstappen has done 2 purple sectors but didn't improve in the middle sector. Let's see what our boys have got on offer. Russell's middle sector is a personal best. Hamilton's also a personal best. Hamilton slightly quicker than Russell at the moment. Leclerc, fastest final sector, goes second fastest. Russell, only third. Hamilton also third. We've locked out the second row instead of the front row. So our boost didn't actually make the difference. We were still well over a tenth of a second slower than Red Bull. So maybe it wasn't such a genius trick that I'd found after all. It's the exact same strategy then for George and for Lewis. Medium, hard, soft. We do have a relatively fresh set of softs here, 93%, but the softs aren't really going to work around Hungary because of the punishing middle sector. Maybe should have thought ahead a bit more and saved an extra set of mediums like we did in Qatar. But I have underfuel to try and offset some of the weight and the punishment that brings. But we've got some overtaking to do around a circuit that's notoriously difficult to pass on. Let's do a motor race. An all Red Bull front row, but we're hoping to change that and make it an all Mercedes top step. The lights are out, the race is on. That's Charles Leclerc on a set of soft tyres, and Hamilton is immediately blasting into second position. Leclerc is pulling way to the inside, looking to get back through. Looks like he's at least level with Hamilton there, but I think the Mercedes is going to make the move stick. Lewis Hamilton does have second position. We've got a car off at the back somewhere. There's a big gap in the middle. Who's gone off? It's been a crash involving multiple cars, although maybe it's just slowed them all down. Frantic start in the midfield at least, but Hamilton, importantly, is into second position. Russell has held on to P4. Right, we're completing lap 2. DRS will now be active, but Lance Stroll has got ahead of George Russell. Hamilton has dropped 1.5 seconds behind Verstappen. We weren't deploying, of course. That was far from ideal for George Russell to drop behind the Aston Martin. Stroll picked up DRS again, and Hamilton has dropped back to third now. Leclerc has overtaken him. I think what we're going to do, we're just going to follow. Lewis Hamilton is back up into second position. Leclerc dropped out of DRS range to his teammate, and Hamilton pounced, taking the position through turn 2 as he did on the opening lap, showing Leclerc the curb there. Obviously the fight isn't done. We need Lewis to get back into DRS range on Verstappen, which I think he has done. Russell has just snatched P4 back from Lance Stroll and immediately is on the case of Leclerc, whose soft tyres might just be giving up the ghost. 72% more already, but there's a chance here for Russell to go from 5th to 4th to 3rd in very quick succession. He's having a look. You know what, we're going to turn him up to high aggression on the overtakes. Let's hop on board. Can we make it this time? Let's deploy. Moving to the inside. Is Leclerc going to be able to defend this? Doesn't look like it. Have a nice big harvest. Hamilton's busy taking the lead at the front. Here he goes, past Max Verstappen for position 1. And that was a very good few seconds for Mercedes. Let's see how Hamilton got the job done. Basically, it's a mirror image. You've got the same thing twice. There we go. Beautiful pair of moves. You can see Russell completing the move as well. There he goes. What a wonderful 20 seconds for Mercedes. We love that. Let's deploy through this middle sector, try and open up a bit of a gap. Well, not only have we opened up a gap, but George Russell's now second. Verstappen, for some reason, his pace has just evaporated. Look, Hamilton getting away has just left him completely exposed. George Russell, second position. He's gone from 5th to 4th to 3rd to 2nd. And now he'll have his eyes fixed on his teammate. He's at peak confidence. So he's going to be absolutely chomping at the bit to chase down his teammate. But really, the best thing we can do is get him into DRS range on Lewis and then ask him not to fight his teammate. And that'll stop Verstappen coming through. Now, the plan isn't working because Verstappen has got through and has taken the lead. He's just muscled his way past Hamilton after snatching second place from Russell. Our pace actually backfired a bit there. This isn't perfectly ideal, especially with Verstappen having better tyres right now, which means he can be a bit more aggressive with his strategy. Yeah, look, he did an 18.2 versus us a 19.9 and a 20.1. That in itself will explain exactly why we lost the lead, and we are already outside of DRS striking range. Right, I've just been sorting strategy out. I'm going to take a bit of a risk here with Lewis. We're going to box him on the next lap for a set of hards, and we're just going to pound them. You can see what I've changed the strategy to here on the right hand side. We're switching to a 3-stop because we've gone a little bit too hard on the tyres early doors, and we've got extra soft tyres to use, so hopefully we'll be able to be fast towards the end of the race. We're going to need clear air, but if anyone can make this strategy work, Lewis Hamilton is one of those drivers. So Verstappen has pitted before us and come out in third. Alright, well, do you know what? I'm going to stick with this 3-stop and the 2-stop. Just see where they pan out. Alright, in comes Hamilton. Good stop, please, lads. 2.9 seconds. That's fine. Where does Hamilton pop out? It's going to be behind Gasly and ahead of Leclerc. That's important. Now we're going to really press on with these tyres. We're just going to attack with the tyres. We're going to deploy on this lap 2. Albon with a 16.7 fastest lap. Russell into that dreaded puncture territory. Please make it to the pit lane. 12 seconds behind at the pit stop. We have a safety car.
A big crash here.
Wow.
So just look for debris.
Why is there a safety car? Sonoda and I think that's Pourchaire. Oh dear, that was a heavy crash. Yeah, you did mess up there, Yuki. So this plays beautifully into George Russell's hands. He now comes out ahead of his teammate. This changes a lot of things. Maybe we can make it on the 2-stop as planned with Lewis. So let's do it like that. Obviously, we're not going to attack quite so much on the tyres there, but we'll just stick with that and see how it comes out. Verstappen will lead them away.
And think about less lifting coast. Okay.
I think we're just going to follow him here. Oh, George still had the don't fight teammate on. For gosh sake, it's happened again. He's let Hamilton through for no reason. Dang it. And now Hamilton needs to get after Verstappen. We probably need to be aggressive on the tyres. Russell losing that position to Gasly. Is he? Yeah, he's lost it. Oh, I need to stop putting that on or just... Right, Hamilton is having to defend from Gasly, who's absolutely flying. The Gasman is on one. And Pierre Gasly is now second in this race. So this restart really hasn't worked out well for us. Hamilton has now dropped down to 5th position behind Charles Leclerc. Russell passed him, and so now has the second Red Bull. Hamilton's just got no pace. It's absolutely disappeared. I don't know whether the AI are pushing harder than we are on the tyres. They could be. I mean, we've got to try and make it to lap 52. Gasly has dropped back a bit from Verstappen. Russell can't catch them at the moment. Hamilton's defending from Perez. And now Leclerc has passed Russell. We're 4th and 6th. What's going on, lads? What was our lap time the last time? Leclerc did a 15.9. Everybody else was in the 17s. But we're in the... Well, Hamilton was in the high 17s. He's so slow at the moment. This race has just... Early doors, we looked really strong. As Gasly is now attacking for the lead, is he going to go for it? That would get us out of jail. What's the tyre situation like? Leclerc's on a set of mediums, so is Perez. So strategies are a bit different because of the safety car. Gasly's got better tyres than Verstappen. So have we. Okay, maybe this is just going to have to come back to us at some point. We are going to a set of softs towards the end of the race. What the Red Bulls and Gasly go to is going to be interesting. Let's see what tyres everybody has been on. Tyre history. So Gasly is probably going to go hard, medium or soft. He's got to use another compound. Leclerc, no idea what he's going to go to. Verstappen will go to a set of softs. He's gone medium hard so far. So we will probably end up on the same strategy as Verstappen. Alright, Hamilton is back. He has passed Perez and has immediately lost it. Oh no, he's hanging on. I think we'll be okay from here. Yellow flag. Someone went off. It was Magnussen locking up. Russell is a second and a half behind the Red Bulls. Gasly's on his tail. Let's deploy with Russell. Get him back into contention with the Red Bulls. Leclerc now leads the race on his mediums. Okay, I'm going to join you around lap 50 and see where we are. As the Red Bulls actually start to battle, that could be very useful for us. Major development at the front of this race. Charles Leclerc still leads, but George Russell is now his closest contender, and George Russell is on one here. Lewis Hamilton did get past Gasly, but has since lost the position, and now the Alpine has got DRS off the back of Verstappen. The top 5 are separated by what, 3 seconds? 2 seconds, as Russell now takes the lead. Beautiful stuff from George Russell, who's sensing a potential chance to take the lead in the World Championship. Remember, defending World Champion is George Russell. Nice move from him on Leclerc, whose mediums might just be getting a bit second-hand by now. Indeed they are. Hamilton has got DRS from Verstappen, who's got DRS on Leclerc, who can't get past Russell. So it's turning into one big scrap between F1's 2 top teams in 2025. Hamilton looking for a way past Max Verstappen. Can he find it? Surely not through the S's section in Hungary. This is just absurd. You wouldn't see this, and you still won't see it, although it's not finished yet. Hamilton, that was probably not the smartest place to attempt an overtake, although it almost cost Verstappen DRS. It didn't, but Leclerc has just dropped out. Oh, he was just outside a second there. He did get the DRS, importantly. Russell is potentially able to pull away in this race. Maybe we deploy here, actually, and see if we can open up that gap. I wonder if Verstappen will be in this lap. Let's bring Lewis in for that fresh set of softs. See if we can undercut the Red Bull. We look like we will get the undercut. We're going to attack on the tyres on pit exit. Oh, it's a slow stop with the left front. 4.7 seconds. And that'll allow Leclerc to go through. Oh, it's a lot of positions. Even Gasly's gone through. A lot of overtaking for Lewis to do now. That was far from ideal from the boys and girls in the pit lane. But if the wheel won't come off, it won't come off. It's just one of those things. So we're going to attack with the tyres. Verstappen hasn't pitted. It's a sweet stop for Russell, 2.9. Leclerc does go through. He's passing Lance Stroll. This is Alex Albon that Hamilton's trying to deal with. Russell pops out just ahead as Hamilton swings around the outside of the Thai Brit driver. And now it's Lando Norris who's in front of him. The gap from Russell to Leclerc is about 7 seconds. Verstappen has pitted. Will he pop out behind Hamilton? He will. And he's even behind Gasly and Norris. So we've got a little bit of an advantage in terms of track position on Max Verstappen. But we are going to have tyres that are worse off. Although Verstappen's gone to a used set of tyres. Russell passes Stroll for second place. And Leclerc's tyres are much worse off than George's. 7 laps remain. George Russell is now 1.4 seconds, 1.3 behind Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton's pace has dropped off. His tyres are obviously more used than George's. So he's just going to settle for third place now, which means George Russell has a chance to take 10 points out of his teammates' championship lead and reduce it to 3 points heading to Zandvoort. But he needs to overtake Charles Leclerc to do so. We are going to help him in that because we do want to win this race. Going to drive in clean air. Didn't quite get the job done. Just going to harvest the energy so the next time we come round we'll have plenty of battery to basically annihilate the Red Bull. We're going to be coming out of the final corner. It's really important to get good traction, so let's attack and deploy with George Russell. Is he going to go through? Doesn't look like it. We want high aggression in the overtakes. We had turned it down to low when he was behind Lewis Hamilton. How about now into turn 2? Switch to the inside. Seen that go wrong several times before. Alright, let's set it back up again. Verstappen is just in 4th place and not really catching. Although he was 0.8 quicker than Hamilton, but he's 7 seconds behind with 4 laps to go. His strategy has not worked out. He went for a longer stint on the hard tyres and it did not pay off. There is another yellow flag. Someone else has gone off the track. Russell's taken the position from Leclerc. Out of nowhere. I did not see this coming. He's just bullied his way through at turn 5. Get in there, George Russell. The world champion takes the lead of the race. You can see the number 1 on his car in the replay. There is George Russell. Let's push to get away from Leclerc. What's his tyre situation like? He's a few % worse off than Hamilton, who could probably get away with being aggressive here. Might even go. Can we catch Leclerc? Let's have a go. George Russell leads the race. George Russell starts the final lap of the race, and Lewis Hamilton actually has DRS here on Charles Leclerc. So we're just going to attack with the tyres. We'll get away with it. And he's so close there to the back of the Red Bull. Will he be close enough into turn 2? It's going to be a 1-2 for Mercedes. George Russell winning the race. Lewis Hamilton moves into 2nd position. We'll go aggressive on the tyres to keep the pace up. But Red Bull somehow, with both drivers, have lost this race and we've come through. I said they had a great record in qualifying, but when it came to race day, they just weren't at it against us. And so it's proven again today. George Russell, he had a bit of fortune in when the safety car came out. He was literally in the pit lane, which meant he ended up ahead of his teammate. But he's driven a superb race, having actually at one point been 5th, although that was my fault for having the don't fight teammate instruction on still. But he survived my ineptitude to come home and secure back-to-back wins. George Russell, the reigning world champion.
No messing around today, mate.
No, absolutely no messing around. Lewis Hamilton comes home for P2. Charles Leclerc a defeated 3rd. Verstappen, having led much of this race, a forlorn and lonely 4th. Yeah, Gasly at one point looked a contender for victory too, but he's only going to finish 6th behind Perez. But a super result for this man. George Russell victorious in Hungary. More celebrations for Mercedes. That is 4 wins in a row for the team. Charles Leclerc taking Red Bull's last victory back at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, which was round 5 of the season. Yeah, so Max Verstappen hasn't won since the 3rd round in Singapore. One of the longest winless streaks of his career. But George Russell, the winning continues for Mercedes. I think that's a 4th straight 1-2 as well. We are dominating in terms of race day. We don't have quite the qualifying car that we would like. And Red Bull are putting up a fight in the races, but they're just not able to gain the upper hand on us. And we've come out victorious, 1st and 2nd. Delight in the pit lane for the men and women of the team. And delight here on the pit wall. Leclerc actually takes the bonus point for fastest lap. Let's see what it does for the constructors first of all. We are 95 points clear of Red Bull now. 7 victories to their 3. We've had podiums at every single race. We've only had 1 pole position. Red Bull have had 7. Unbelievable. Drivers' Championship lead for Hamilton comes down to just 6 points. So that is very... I think actually if Hamilton had only finished... Yeah, it would have been 3 points had he finished in 3rd. Leclerc now jumps back above Verstappen in what is fast becoming the inter-team Red Bull fight for 3rd place. They are nearly 50 points adrift of George Russell. Hamilton is 99 points ahead of Leclerc and 102 ahead of Verstappen with 8 races remaining. That is quite the task for the Dutchman, considering he's not in the best of form. Hasn't won in 6. So, well, yeah, 6 races. So, yeah, Max Verstappen out of form. Who would have thought? George Russell rising 3 places from 4th on the grid to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. Not something you see in real life, particularly a driver coming from the 2nd row in Budapest to the top step, the podium. And if you enjoyed that race in Hungary, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, give the video a like, subscribe for more F1 Manager content. Make sure you join my Discord, which is AHGP. There should be a link down in the description. It may or may not work, but search AHGP and you'll be able to find it. Make sure you tune in for the next race in Zandvoort. I'll see you then. You're the best, fans. It's goodbye for now.